Philip, welcome. Hello.
Hi, Tom. Thank you. Was a wonderful guidance exploration, and what I noticed, and yeah, when I focus on then I feel like uh, I feel like I'm in everything. I'm like I is like all I can see that all I can say is that everything is I. And yeah, also that I had this sense when I was young, when I was a kid. I also had this deep sense of, and like everything is I, and then came the confusion, like, huh? What part is me and you, and yeah.
Can I interrupt you and ask you something?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are two different things that we can conflate, right?
Yeah.
So we can have a feeling that that everything is one with us. We are one with everything. So
Yeah.
for example, like what I've got like a book here. Let me find it. Okay. I've got a book here. I'm going to turn it this way around. Okay. So you can't see this. Okay. So just an ordinary book, let's pretend. Yeah. Now, you may see this book and you may feel one with it, yeah?
Yeah.
But do you think this is you?
No.
No, you don't, do you?
No.
No. We have intuitive knowledge. We have intuitive knowledge, and a baby has this. Everyone has this. We have intuitive knowledge that this is not what we are. And we even have intuitive knowledge that we're not the body or the mind. I mean, this book is can represent any object, and you can pick up any object or look at any object, and you can feel a communion with it, right? Like you may, again, you might be in nature, you might see the birds and the trees and the leaves and the light. You might feel a sense of oneness with it all, right?
Yeah.
But there's never confusion. Those things are not you.
Yeah.
You never think, oh, I am the leaf.
No.
You might feel like the leaf is one with you. You are one with the leaf, a sense of communion.
Yeah.
But that is not the same as thinking everything is I. Because you said everything is I. Everything is not I. Yeah.
No.
And this is not I. This is a book. You know that.
Yeah.
We shouldn't fool ourselves. We know this is not what we are. Everyone knows it. Now, when we listen to a lot of teachings, we can start to convince ourselves, oh, that is, I is everywhere. But I is not everywhere. This is I don't want to be too forceful, this is my expression.
Yeah.
We have a sense of I. I'm pointing to my chest now,
Mhm.
but that is indicating we have a sense of I which is here. It is not there. I'm pointing away from myself. It is not away, it's not there. It is not on the wall, on the sofa, on the leaf, on the tree. It is not there. We have a sense of I which is here. We all have it intuitively.
Yeah, but also what I when I'm asked, because I feel like I have this more and more. I have this interest. Like I really want to know who am I. This is becoming more and more like yeah, yeah. This comes stronger,
Mm.
and I also feel like it's not just because at first I felt like I was putting my attention really like inwards, like really
Mm,
like inside the body, but it feels it's not that's not it either. Like it is,
no, you're right.
yeah, it is here. That's true, like you say, but it's because it's
It,
not over there, but it's also not in here.
yes,
Yeah,
that's correct. We say in here it's metaphorical, meaning it's not out. What in here means it's not there.
yeah, exactly. But there's
You see, it's
yeah,
not, it's also not in literally in here either, because this is just another location.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when
and I
it's
can.
inward, it's a
Yeah,
meta. We can't accurately say where we are because there are no words. The scriptures and the sages, they try and explain it in their own way at their own time with the language of the time.
yeah,
That's why there are all these scriptures that explain the same thing in slightly different ways, using slightly different words. Look at the Upanishads. They all explain the same truth in very different ways. But coming back to what I was saying before, Philip,
mhm,
we have a sense of I. I'm pointing to my chest, but it's not here. It's
yeah,
it's it's somewhere.
yeah,
We all have it intuitively. Yeah. Here's I've got my phone here. Look, I've got a mobile phone here. Yeah. Now, if I drop it on the floor, you don't think you've dropped on the floor, do you?
no,
No, because you know that's not you intuitively. Everyone knows th this phone is not them. If I throw it on the floor now and it smashes, no one's going to think they've smashed because they know that's not I. But then when if your body falls to the floor, you might think, oh, something has happened to me. But that's also not what you are. We actually know that's not what we are. In the same way we intuitively, I'm using the word intuitive to mean some intrinsic knowing in you that doesn't have to be taught. Yeah. It's not like the reason you know you're not the phone is because you've been brought up in a certain culture, in a certain tradition. No, it's not because you're a member of a particular religion or sect or tradition or society that you know the phone isn't you. No, it's intrinsic intuitive knowledge. It's inherent in you. Everyone knows that the phone isn't them. As well, they drop the phone, they're not too worried. We also intuitively know that the body is not ourself as well. But here's where it gets a bit murky because the mind believes the body is I.
yeah,
The mind, which is not I, believes the body is I. But we also have an intuitive knowledge that the body is not I. Because we have a sense that, well, let me ask you, don't you have a sense that you are something inside this body? That you are not the body, you are some entity inside the body. Don't you have this sense? Even the hand, even your hand, which is a part of your body, is somewhat distant to you. It's a bit like the phone. It's not quite like the phone, but it's a bit like the phone. So we can do a thought experiment. It's a bit gruesome, but if you imagine chopping your hand off, you don't suddenly feel that you're not there anymore or that you've been chopped in half.
yeah,
Of course, the body will feel pain and etc., etc. But we also have an intuition that this is not what we are. We are something else. And that's something else that we are, that we all intuitively know. If we go towards it and explore it, we discover what we are. This is what all the holy teachings, all the liberating teachings are telling us to do. All the Upanishads, all the Vedas that teach self-liberation or self-knowledge, they're all teaching us this one thing, to know ourselves. And the great thing is we have an intuition already of I, and we have an intuition already of not I. We already intuitively know things like the phone and the book and the sofa are not I. We also have an intuition that our hands, our nose, our mouth, our shoulders, our bodies are also not I. We have that intuition. It's less strong, but it's there. And we also have an intuition that our thoughts are not I. Because sometimes people say, oh, I can't control my thoughts. My thoughts are racing. I can't control them. who is the I that is trying to control them? It's separate from the thought. So we all have an intuition of an I, which is a center, the center of our being, the center of our life, right? We all have this intuition. We might feel it's one with everything sometimes, not always, but sometimes we might feel that we're one with everything. But even when it's one with everything, there is a sense of duality, which is that, that's out there. That's somehow, even though I'm one with it, it's not what I am. You following me?
Yeah.
Now, we should not deny that. What Bhagavan encourages us to do. So this is very interesting. Throughout all this experience, even if we have a sense of oneness, there is also a sense of I. And if we just go into that, if we explore creatively, explore, interest, with curiosity, with creativity, explore what we actually are, we discover something amazing, wonderful, the highest truth. And it shouldn't really surprise us that the highest truth is ourself, because we all intuitively know that somewhere within us. We know this already, you see. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
think I don't think I let you ask a question, did I?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I also did really. I'm not sure if I had a question. Yeah.
I
I
love
just want to
I love
explore,
that.
I guess, the like the feeling what I have with this eye. What is this? Um,
That's it.
and that's it. Yeah. And I can also see that everything that it comes into the senses gets at first the label I, but that's just not. That's because it is I, and then everything that uh, it perceives seems to be I as first as well. But that's already a confusion by the mind.
Mm. There's this very cryptic verse in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, Lord Krishna says, what does he say? He says, essentially, he says, everything is one with I, with me. Everything is one with me, but I do not enter into any of these things. I'm not in any of these things. It's a very cryptic verse. He said, all these things are one with me, but I am not in any of these things. Now, can you understand what that means given what I've just said before? You can feel the oneness with everything, but you are not to be found in any of these things, like the phone or the book, the table. That's not where you'll find yourself. And you know it. That's why when you're doing self-inquiry, you don't pick up a phone and start studying it or pick up a book and look at the paper. Well, actually, some people do pick up a book, don't they, to learn about themselves. Maybe people do pick up a phone. Maybe they're two bad examples. But you don't maybe look at a tree and try and examine the bark on the tree to discover what you are, because you intuitively know you're not going to find yourself there. And you know
Yeah,
you
yeah,
won't find yourself in any object at all, any gross or subtle object. You won't find yourself.
yeah. All objects are made of me, but I'm not made of object. Yeah,
That's right.
it's a bit like Jesus said, like I'm in this world, but not from the world. Or
Exactly.
yeah, the other way around.
Mm, yeah. Many times Jesus said, "Do not go into the world. Do not follow the ways of the world." There's a very cryptic verse in the Bible. It's a very hard-hitting verse because there's no other way of translating it apart from saying, Jesus said, you must hate your father and mother to follow me. It's a very, very harsh verse. It's funny because it's in the New Testament and different people try and interpret things in different ways. But this verse is so direct in the way it's written in the original Greek. It's the only way it can be translated is you must hate your mother and father to come to the kingdom of God, to follow me. And he's saying, we have to interpret what that means, of course. Is he literally saying you must hate your parents? No, I don't believe that. But he's saying, look, you're not going to find yourself in these things. You're not going to find God in objects, even your beloved objects, the people around you. You won't find what you're really looking for there. Jesus said that the second greatest commandment was to love one another, to love each other. Some people say, my spirituality is being kind, right? My spirituality is being kind. But Jesus said that's not the most important thing. He said the most important thing is to know the divine, to know the Lord your God. He said the second most important thing is to be kind, because you cannot do the second thing without the first.
No, no, and then you go. If you only focus on that, then you go crazy because there is so much unkindness in the world,
Yeah,
and it will only frustrate you. Yeah,
yeah. And love cannot flow from you unless you have found the source of love within you.
yeah,
So you may try and love, you might earnestly try to be kind to people around you, but without discovering your true nature, there will always be, you will run out of kindness.
yeah,
You'll run out, even with the best intention. That's why Jesus didn't say, just be kind. That's why the Buddha didn't say, just be kind. They all said, be kind. That's why Bhagwan Ramana didn't say, just be kind. They all advocated being kind, of course. Very kind, very kind. Revolutionaries, really, in terms of being kind. You look at human history and you look at what they were teaching, they were revolutionaries. Be very kind. But where does this revolution come from? It comes from an inner revolution, discovering yourself first. Discovering the source of kindness, the source of love, where all love flows from. Thank you
yeah.
for
That, yeah. Then we come back to I. Just yeah, it's really just focusing on that. Because there's one more thing.
mm.
Because I feel like it's more easy to focus on I or I than I am. I know when I try to focus on I am, then somehow I don't know. Then my mind gets in the way or something. And, yeah,
Because
always
I
just
am is I am is conceptual.
yeah,
It's not, we don't normally talk about the I am.
yeah,
So we don't relate to that concept. But we all use the word I
yeah,
every day.
yeah,
So we can relate to, but I am is more difficult to relate to.
yeah, exactly. Because because a lot of people say focus on the I am, but I've never really
Mm,
could never really feel that. But when I just feel I and just
that's it.
be really interested about that, what is this I then?
Mm.
Yeah,
You see,
yeah,
in the Sanskrit and in most Indian languages, the word for I is also the word for I am. So they don't
yeah,
have this problem.
Yeah.
But in English, it's I. Atman, what we translate as the self. Atman is the Sanskrit word that's translated as self. It just means I. But in English, when we translate it, we don't say I, we say there's the self, and it becomes this technical word. But in Sanskrit, it just means I, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just I. That's
Yeah. Great. I'll just stick to that. It helps.
yes.
Yeah.
Me, I.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Tom.
Oh, thank you, Philip. Thank you. I'm so glad you decided just to share with us. Wonderful.
Yeah. Too.
Wonderful. Thank you.